right, welcome back. And we are just gonna hop into it. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
join us. You can, join the conversation.
Chime
Of
in.
course,
Yep.
jump in with comments, whatever. Good morning, Jaya. How are you? Um, and okay, so today we are really just gonna kind of focus on this is a really hot topic issue right now. Just the policing of women's bodies. We know that, across the country, there are several states that either have already implemented or are trying to implement, these really, really restrictive abortion laws. And so we're not, getting into politics or anything like that, but just just how it manifests, even prior to some of these really restrictive abortion laws, but throughout the world, how just the policing of women's bodies really affect the insecurities, even when it comes to being pregnant once you lose a child, or not being able to get pregnant right away, those sorts of things. And so that's what we're going to discuss today. And of course, like we said, go ahead and jump in with any comments that you have, even your views with this topic.
Exactly. I will say that it was important for me to talk about it because it's making me feel some kind of way. I'm not gonna lie. It's been on my mind for the past few weeks now, and it's nothing new. Obviously, we know that the government and the patriarchy of not even just America, everywhere in the world, it's always been. Even I read a quote that Napoleon Bonaparte had said that women are only machines for producing children. The end. That is all that women are worth. And I feel like that is kind of the common ground that everybody is on right now. So it's well, if all we are baby producers, then what does that say, and what does that do to the women who can't produce children, to the women who can't carry a pregnancy to term? And I started thinking culturally. My mother, she's Nigerian. And so in a lot of African cultures, not just Nigeria, it's a stigma on being infertile. If you can't bear a child, you are ostracized. You are considered cursed. And, not to come around other members of the family, and sometimes you're even beaten or killed by your husband for your inability to produce a child. And I'm like, that is mind blowing. And I never really considered that until it was said to me when I was going through my infertility issues. Man, it's a good thing you didn't marry a Nigerian man, because he probably would be beating you right now. What? What? What year are we living in? When is that ever even okay? And this is not to say that's all Nigerian men. So, for my good Nigerian men out there, keep being good. But, it is a cultural thing. It is a stigma in a lot of cultures that this is how women are viewed and this is how women are treated. I mean, if we even look in the Bible, Hannah, and her husband, the second wife, can't remember her name, she's insignificant, but she would tease and taunt and ridicule Hannah because she didn't have any kids. So this is something that surpasses time, and it's prevalent in all cultures. And I'm like, why is that? How can we break the stigma? How can we change the narrative to stop looking at women who are having difficulty bringing children into this world, and stop looking at them as curses and burdens, and that there's something wrong with them, especially when they say 50% of the time it's not always the women, it's the men who may be the cause of the infertility in a relationship. But society is like, oh, well, women are the ones who bring children into this world, so it's got to be their fault. So I'm like, how do we change the conversation and turn it into something positive?
Right, exactly. And, I think about some of these countries that actually, put these women in jail who have miscarriages, they lose their child, and it's for no fault of their own. You can be the healthiest person, have the perfect diet, perfect moderate exercise, everything that they recommend, perfect prenatal care, and you can still lose a child. And so I'm thinking about, how these laws in this country, may impact some women. I think about even with our first pregnancy, when the doctor said that, this is not a viable pregnancy. Your child will die, whether now or whether, shortly after birth, this child will die. And they put the option on the table to have an abortion. And so, for me, for my own, personal, my faith, my, Christianity and everything, I don't believe in abortion for myself. But, what about the people out there who have a child that is not viable? And, would you rather them go through the heartbreak of having to go through an abortion, or, go through the heartbreak of having to deliver a baby, that they are not able to take home, that they are, they're not able to hold? And so, I think about if that was something that was taken off the table, if I, if me and my husband decided, well, let's go ahead and just have an abortion so I don't have to go through the whole delivery process and, all the emotional trauma and turmoil that comes with that. And, have the possibility of going to jail for something, for making a decision like that. That's, I think is completely insane. And these laws are not a one size fits all. There are just, so many different reasons, that someone may need to have an abortion, or, someone may, end up losing a child. Where does it stop?
Exactly.
If we already have these laws, being implemented, then, maybe they will do in some of these other countries, where you have a miscarriage, or your baby dies shortly after birth, you go to jail because you should have been able to make sure that baby, was full and, full of life and viable and everything. And it's
and doctors even say that that's not even a valid law, because there's no way, unless you test for alcohol and drugs, there's no way to prove or to say how a miscarriage happens. They still don't know how miscarriages happen. They still don't know, because that's something that's beyond their realm of understanding. So how can a lawmaker who doesn't reflect us, because the lawmakers aren't women, mostly aren't people with wombs who have to deal with that stuff, that are making these laws for women's bodies. And it's going back to advocating for yourself. This is why it's important to educate yourself on the laws and advocate for yourself. If this angers you, if this concerns you, this is when you reach out to your congressmen and women. This is when you reach out to the Senate. This is when you reach out to lawmakers and say, this does not work for me. You can't make these type of rules to govern my body and tell me what is right and what is wrong for me, for my health, for my family.
Exactly.
And that's what bothers me, because I'm with you, Christy. As for me, yes, I believe in bringing the child into this world, pro-life, all that stuff. But I believe that each person has free will to govern themselves as God has given us free will. And God has already given us the instructions on how we are to maintain, treat our bodies, etc. So I don't need man to tell me what to do when God has already told me. So the decisions that I make out of my own free will are between me and God.
Exactly.
And that's that. I don't need to risk. I mean, God forbid we get pregnant again. God forbid something happens, and now I have to worry about, oh my gosh, what do I need to do so I don't have to miscarry? And then it's okay, if I miscarry, what do I need to do to make sure I don't get put in prison for them to think that it was my fault? What?
Exactly.
Women don't have enough things to stress out about and to worry about in this world, that we now have to worry about how to govern our bodies and our minds and everything to make sure we don't inadvertently get ourselves thrown in jail for something that is out of our control. I mean, I am
it's completely baffling. It's completely baffling. And then even the women who support these sorts of laws are, it's even more baffling. And I, sometimes wonder, have you had a child? Have you ever, struggled to get pregnant? Have you ever lost a child? Because I believe that, especially coming from that standpoint, you would have a different view on these sorts of laws and just the craziness and absurdity of it. There are just too many variables and factors to have this, supposedly one size fits all, law
rule. Exactly.
And so it's, it's extremely scary. And, like Christy said, if this is something that scares you as well, that, you just feel is as absurd as we do, then, check in with your local politicians and let them know, like, this is not okay. This is not okay.
Exactly. And if you are a woman who's suffering from infertility or child loss, it's important that you know that you're not alone. So, because I know all too often, I forgot to mention one of the things that also affect is suicide. Apparently, in other countries, there's a high rate of suicide from women who can't bear children to full term because of the burdens and the pressures from their community and from their culture, making them feel like they're less than. Because they can't produce a child, and a lot of women, it's like, well, if I can't have children, who's going to take care of me when I'm old? So they go into this, your children are your inheritance type thing. So so then they start feeling like, woe is me, life is not worth living. And that's not the case. So we want to encourage you to reach out to a strong support system, a strong community. Hopefully you have that in your spouse and partner. But if not, find a local church, find a support group, find someone, you can even join our support group here on Facebook, to reach out to women who have the same mindset as you, who can encourage you, who can uplift you, who can pray for you, because you are not alone in this journey, and you don't have to feel ostracized. You don't have to feel outcast from, your own community. You can build a new community of quality people around you.
Right. Yeah. And even if you aren't one of those women, but you have, women in your circle, don't be those people in society who are, as soon as you get married, oh, so when you having kids? No, like, we already have enough pressure to produce. And some women don't want children, and that's a reality. Some women, some families, do not want children. Or couples rather.
And that's their prerogative.
So, and that's their prerogative. And then, for those who do want children, if they are struggling or if they have lost and they haven't, opened up about that, that's even more pressure and even more of a burden on them. So, don't be those people in society who are just like, oh, where the kids at,
You ain't getting any younger.
Exactly.
Better go hurry up and pop out those babies. Oh my gosh, they used to be the worst. Like for me. They used to be. Try a little tenderness. Be sensitive to the fact that there are people who are struggling struggles that you may not know about, and don't get offended because someone doesn't want to discuss it with you. You may not be the person that they want to discuss their fertility journey or their child loss journey with. And that should be okay. Yes, you can still be their friend. Yes, you can still be in their circle. But people have people that they want to talk to and people that I don't really want to discuss that part of my life with them. And that's okay, because women are in control of their own bodies, right? So we should be able to choose who we share that with, that journey with, without you getting offended because it wasn't necessarily shared with you. So I just want to encourage you guys to just be sensitive and, pay attention to what is happening in in politics, in the law, in the government, everything, because it affects you. It affects your body. And sometimes people think, well, because it's not happening to me right now, I don't have anything to worry about, until you do, until it's your cousin or your sister or, your aunt or you. So, don't wait until it's too late to try to be change and affect change. I'm all about, not just talking about it. Let's do something. Let's call some people. Let's write some letters, and share our concerns with those who have the power to really try to make a change and really try to work things out in our favor, because it's scary out here. And I can't even imagine being in a developing country and having gone through what I had gone through, because, would I even be here today? I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Same.
And
like I might
terrifying.
be in jail right now, and and that is it's a terrifying thought.
It's terrifying.
And so even get involved in some of these other countries. Of course, domestically there's so many issues. So like Christy said, reach out to the people who have power and make your voices heard. But also in some of these other countries, there are some things that you can do as well to kind of help advocate for those women as well.
Exactly. And if you're like the type of person who's like, I'm not the type of person to call a senator or write a letter, there are things you can do in your community. There are people that you can affect and do in your community. Just if you educate yourself on things that are going on, pour out onto others. Educate someone else, another young lady who may not know, and just each one teach one, so that the information can get out there into the communities, because there are communities who aren't, as connected, and so they need to know that this is going to affect you too, even if you're not 18 yet, this is going to affect you too, so that they'll know what's going on with these laws and with their bodies, because, I mean, it's not just people who are over 18 who are getting pregnant. So this can affect, unfortunately, this can affect anyone of childbearing age, so it's very important that we just, encourage our children, love upon our children, and support women supporting women. That is what we are about, with ChristiChristie, and not putting each other down, not, throwing little, cliches at you, but truly being there to support you in the trenches with you, and giving you what you need so that you can continue to progress, and you can continue to push through whatever struggle you may be going through, whether it's infertility or child loss, and this was just a topic that was near and dear to my heart, because it's been on my mind for like the past month, or since it's been starting. It's been on my mind, and so I'm just glad that we were able to talk about it and get that out there, and let you guys know that it's not just here in the U.S., it's everywhere that women are dealing with something, and that women are seen as objects and just childbearing machines. And if you ain't bearing no children, then you're useless. Thrown to the useless pile. Let's move on to the next woman. And it's just, it shouldn't be that way. And so since here in the U.S. we have freedom of speech and we can speak out, unlike some of these other countries, we're choosing to use our voice to do just that.
Exactly. Yes. So, let us know your thoughts. Of course, we always read the comments and everything. This will be posted on our YouTube channel later. So of course, you can comment there. But, we just thank you for your support and everything, because that, that is exactly what we are about. Just, really supporting and encouraging women. And so.
And I just want to say one last thing, because we have been getting, the testimonials, we've been getting, the messages from the outpouring of love from women who are saying thank you, who are saying that our videos have helped them, to process a child loss that has happened to them in their lives, help them to get through an infertility journey. So we just want to say we are here for you. We thank you for your support. And just every video is a conversation, and we want you to continue the conversation with us and continue this journey with us. So please don't hesitate to comment. Please don't hesitate to reach out, because we do respond. We do pray for you, and we do love you.
Yes, absolutely. And if you don't want to do it in an open forum, like our, although our group is private, but you don't want to do it in an open forum, we are open to, direct messages.
Slide into my DMs.
And so, we, like Christy said, we're here for you. We love you all so much. So I guess we'll see you next Thursday.
Yes. ChristiChristie signing off. Bye, guys. Bye.